Hey everybody, it's Tech Voodoo. Today we're going to go ahead and talk about the Alba Airbox Spacer. Let me grab my light real quick. Okay, so what Alba has done, now when they first made the product they went ahead and made it out of aluminum, but now they've gone ahead and made it out of some nice durable plastic here. I can't tell you what type of plastic it is, but they went ahead and made it out of plastic. Now, this Alba spacer here, so let's see if I can get this light in a good enough spot. It doesn't shine too much. Okay, so the spacer is in between the hat lid, or the airbox lid, and the airbox itself. It is this spacer right here. I know it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see that spacer right there. I mean, it's black, so of course it's hard to see. But I mean, they make them in different colors if you want. Anyway, what this does is it actually moves the hat out, because from your air filter, so you've got your primary filter up there, and then you've got your secondary filter over here. And what it does is air's pulled in and then pulled down these tubes here on each side. So 3-cylinder, 3 tubes. And then inside this air lid are 3 Venturis. They're rubber and they connect to the throttle body tube, which is right here. So these Venturis come out and they are actually really close. And when I say close, they are really close to this lid. The problem is the the air's got this nice smooth area here, and then has to make almost a 90-degree turn into the Venturis that go into your throttle bodies. Now what Alba has done, and it's been proven, that this actually adds horsepower. Side by Side Blog did it. Doug, he ended up adding it on, not his YXZ, but somebody else's. And he actually noticed a significant power gain. And so have I. I added this along with my Alba Racing exhaust, and I noticed quite a bit of difference. You know, a couple horsepower, you know, at best. But when you're looking at an engine like this, a small engine, small displacement engine, just a few horsepower, you know, a foot-pound or 2 of torque added is a big difference. You could actually feel it. But to install this is kind of a pain in the butt. But anywho, we'll get to that here in a minute. But what this spacer does is it actually allows the Venturi tubes a little bit more gap here, so the air still has that nice flow coming into the Venturis for the throttle body, instead of coming down, cutting, and then having to go straight across. It still has that nice flow, and it adds a little bit more volume in here as well, so it creates a better volume for your throttle bodies. So when you open it up all the way underneath full acceleration, it can actually get the air that it needs. Now I highly recommend, after you're doing this, to go ahead and get a tune. If you have a factory unit, I'd highly recommend exhaust intake spacer, and a tune. You are going to be amazed about the performance that you get out of it. Now, to install this, what you're going to do is you've got, I think, 12 of these bolts here. They're 8mm. You're going to go ahead and take them off here. So you got 12 all the way around. And then you've got one right here in the center. Do not forget about that one in the center. You forget about it, you're never going to get the hat off. Anyway, so what I did was I went ahead and disconnected the hoses here, got them out of my way, and then I just worked from the top to the bottom. So there's some up here on top that are easier to get to above the machine, and most of them are here at the bottom, easy to get to below the machine. Go ahead and take all those out, and you're going to kind of have to work the hat a little bit and then slide it down. Once you slide the hat down, I recommend going ahead and cleaning up all the old oil and everything like that, because you've got your PVC valve, PCV valve, always messing up, but you got your PCV valve that comes in, and what you're going to do is get all that oil and everything like that cleaned up, so it's a nice clean surface when you start. Now what I did is I added a little bit of grease. I add grease to everything. I add grease to all my seals, and it just keeps the seals nice and pliable. They don't dry rot or anything like that. I add grease to everything, and it works absolutely wonderful for me. Been doing it for years, and I haven't had a customer come back and complain about any of it. Anywho, once you get the hat off, clean it out, then you're going to go ahead and feed this spacer, which is going to have 2 O-rings that go around the spacer. You can use grease or dielectric grease. It's a little stickier, and you're going to go ahead and apply a little bit of grease in there to hold that gasket in place, or that O-ring. My recommendation is getting this piece fed up, get the spacer fed up, and then while the spacer's kind of just rolling around in here, you're going to take the hat and you're going to feed it up. Now it is kind of a pain in the butt, but it is doable. After you move both the spacer and the hat together, trying to get the hat to sit up in its neutral position, once you get this hat up into this position, you can move the spacer around just fine. So you get the hat up there, you put the spacer in, I went ahead and clicked the spacer into the box itself first. And then I took the hat and clicked it into the spacer. Ow. And there's one thing I almost forgot. One thing I almost forgot, and it's very important. When you get the Alba spacer, it comes with a screw and a washer that has a like felt on it, and that is meant for this bolt right here that goes in the middle of this airbox lid. You're not going to be using this bolt anymore. There's no need for it anymore. You're not going to be using it. It's too long of a reach. So they supply you with a bolt to block off that little hole, so you're not sucking in dirty air. You're still sucking air through your air filter. Anywho, glad I didn't forget that. But you're gonna go ahead and get this up here, then you're gonna go ahead and start your screws. Now, do not over torque these. You gotta remember, this is only plastic. You over torque them, you strip out the threads, it's game over.